Hey guys, Dean here. Gonna try to do another 15-minute video. I haven't done one in a while. I'm gonna just do kind of a rip off of a Bob Ross painting. Just like the color of it and how he kind of did kind of a warm winter scene. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and do try to achieve a 15-minute film time. So we'll get going. So what I got already up here is just a small canvas that I've just covered completely with just some yellow paint, and it's dry, pretty close to dry. Yeah, it'll work. And then I'm gonna get going from here. So if you were to do this at home, you paint it first white. I'm using acrylic paint. Here we go. Take a little bit of brown paint. Take a little brown here, some water, not much, and just get some little brown clouds in here. Little brown cloud, very thin, and just kind of pull a few across here. Nothing, no big deal. A little thicker paint here. Just wisp a few in there. It's just kind of a warm winter, but you know it's still winter, so it's kind of cool. And a few down like this, and. Not a whole lot more than that, really. I don't know, maybe I'll pull a few more down. Got kind of it rubbing right here. And something like that. I'm just gonna use a big brush, actually a Bob Ross brush. Just kind of lightly blend it down. You could do this with any large brush. Even you don't even need a large brush. I'm just using this because it's right next to me. Just gonna kind of make this kind of wispy and a nice little mellow cloud. You can go back over it if you want to. You'd probably clean the brush off a little bit if you did, but if you want to add a little bit more color, you could do that again. Maybe towards the outside edges here. Put a little bit darker color in here. Just because draw my eye into the center of this painting here. Again, back to my fairly clean big brush. Go from the outside in. I guess you can go either way. Oh, that's nice, I like that. Okay. And then I'm gonna have just kind of a little glow up here, almost like the sun shining. And I'll just use a different brush here, won't need much. Just kind of maybe right in here, there's a little bit of streak of some color here. I guess streak of some white. And just kind of lighten this up a little bit here. Maybe get a little bit more in there. Really pop that out. So that'll be my little light source. Again, I'll take my big brush and see if I can just lightly blend that out. And you could do this several times over if you wanted to. Make it a little lighter yet. You decide. Maybe I'll pop a little bit more right in there. And again, very barely touching. Just a whisper of the brush. Okay. There we go. That's all I'm gonna do for that background. Now I'm gonna take, just a flat brush here. And just make a little bit of a foothill back here. A distant foothill, maybe a little yellow, a little brown. The browns, that should be good enough. Just kind of that medium brown, almost looks like yellow ochre, but it's just kind of a brown. Don't even need much. I'll knock most of it on my rag. Let's do a little foothill back here. I'm just going to just tap this down. Just tap. I don't know, maybe make it a little higher. Just tap this down. And less pressure kind of come across here. Just a whisper. Just a little whisper right across there. Okay. It's just way back there. Long distant. All right, clean that off. So that's just way back there. We don't know where it's at. All right, now I'm gonna take, I think I'll just take the same larger brush. I'm just gonna take some brown and some black. Mix them together, nice dark color. It's gonna look black, but I just want it not quite as my blackest black. And just gonna come in here and let's see which brush. Maybe I'll use a different brush. Maybe I'll use, use this little filbert brush. Here, see what happens here. Filbert brush kind of looks like a thumbnail or fingernail, depending on how big your fingers are. I'm going to come right across here and just create a little bit of some land here. Maybe I'll, let's see. Let's just start with kind of a line. I'll come down about maybe here. Right across. So that's going to be my horizon line. Nothing fancy, just a guide. All right. Now I'm going to put in a few little distant shrubs. Maybe I'll just kind of pop them down. There's one up here that goes up with this foothill. So these are closer to you. So a little bit more. detail, but still quite a ways back there. All right, something like that. And then I'm going to do just going to flip some up here, just create some little trees, grasses. We're not sure what they are. Use a little paint on my brush here, kind of chintzy with my paint. Alrighty. Again, I'm just using black and brown about equal amounts. A little bit of water just to keep it wet and workable. And we'll come across here, and we'll get a little bit bigger here. I'm just kind of flicking my brush up, getting some little distant tree looks there. Really doesn't matter, just kind of filling that in. Then maybe I'll see if I can create a couple little bit evergreens, a little bit bigger. Just bring a little thing down there and just gonna tap. Just gonna tap a little fat tree right there. And maybe we'll give him a little buddy right here. Ooh, that's kind of a big one. That's all right. That's okay. We don't make mistakes, right? All right, Bob. So we'll just make, he's a fatter one. He's, you know, he likes the smorgasbord. He's more like me. Give him one there. Maybe another little guy right here. Just dab it down. We don't know what these are. And maybe there's one over here. I'm using just right on the verge of almost too big of a brush for this, but we only have 15 minutes, so we're not gonna stress it. All right. There we go. We got some happy little trees there. And since we got the color on our brush, I'm going to go ahead and just pull some reflections down. Just go right here and just pull straight down. Just pull straight down. Not a big deal. I'm not going to overthink it. We might have some water there. We might not. I'm not sure yet. Probably though, if I'm doing this. Make sure you're pulling straight down and your water, your medium, in this case I'm using acrylic, it's thin enough. It's kind of a watery mix. It's not going to drip down, but I need to be able to kind of get this dry brush feel, but also manipulate it down. All right. And something like that. Now, if I'm really careful, I might ruin it. We'll see what happens here. I'm going to try with this brush here, real careful, and just lightly go across it. Just make a little bit of movement there. That'll work. There we go. So that's my little reflection. It's nothing fancy. This would work better if it was oil, but that's all right. Okay. Now we're going to clean off this brush. Let's see. I think we'll go back to this larger brush here. Tell you what, I'll use a medium flat. We're going to pick up some white dirty brush. There's a little brown in there. That's okay. And we're going to come right across those reflections and create a little snow. Okay. I'm just going to come right on down here. Just right on down. It's picking up some of the color that's already on there. So it's going to naturally get darker. That's all right. This is kind of a sunset look. All right. And it's going to come back here and maybe get a little heavier. You could even go up a hill here a little bit if you want. You decide. How are we doing on time? We're doing okay. Have to kick it up a notch here in a second. All right. Got some nice. I'll pull this down. Got some land back here. All righty. Okay. Got a little bit of that reflection still showing. That's good. All right. While that's doing that thing, I will go ahead and take my big brush here and just going to take some dark paint, maybe a little bit more, even almost black. We'll throw some brown in there too. What the heck? And we're going to beat up this brush, stamp it in here. We're going to create some land masses out back here. And this is just kind of the old, gotta have dark to show the light. So I'm gonna hold this up here so you guys can see it, because my palette is, excuse me, my easel is kind of getting in the way here. So I'm just gonna keep moving my brush, get some little guys come down. Maybe a little bit comes out like that. And there's gonna be some water here. And we're just gonna fill this in. And I'm just pouncing. You could brush it on if you wanted to as well. I'm just barely touching here. Creating some fun little shapes. You can even pull a few little things up, get a few little flicks of grasses and stuff. Move that over here a little bit. And stamp that on there. And we'll do some of that on the other side as well. Maybe right here. And this guy's gonna come down, it's a little bit bigger hill. Come right over that snow embankment back there, and it's going to come out here, and maybe it's going to be a little peninsula. Come right on back. So we kind of have a little way to get in and out of our little lake. All right, a little more black right here. I'm just dabbing. You could do this with almost any type of brush. It really doesn't matter. And we'll just do that. This is pretty wet, and because of time, kind of up against the clock as far as if it's going to dry or not. That's all right. So I'm going to go ahead and put in some intermediate little trees here. And I tell you what, let's try. I never use a fan brush. Let's try something here. So I'm going to take some black and some black, a little water, thin mix here. We're going to pull in a trunk or two. I'm going to pull in a big trunk right here. There's a trunk. And let's do maybe one over here. Gotta make those noises. I know Pop would say that, but it is fun. It seems to work better when you make a noise. Maybe another little guy right here, and he's kind of crooked. And let's put in a big one right here. Why not? I come down here, and I'm pushing a little harder. It's in the foreground. And what the heck? Well, let's go over here and do one that's kind of scraggly as well. I'm just kind of shaking my hand a little bit. It's okay if your hand shakes, because that makes a cool tree shape. I'll come up here and just throw a couple real simple little branches on here, just because of time. And maybe this guy here too. He's got some come up, and maybe they come out this way. And pretty basic, you know. And if this is just to kind of give you an idea, if you're doing this on your own, you can take as much time as you want. All right, so I'm gonna try this fan brush. I hardly ever use them, but I'm gonna use the corner of it right here, and just going to touch. I'm going to kind of push up. That's not bad. You can see why Bob liked to use those. Right on down there. Got me a happy little evergreen. Reload. Come over here and do this guy here. Again, just touch. Just using the corner. A little more pressure as I come down. All right, there's another one right there. And we'll do another little guy right here. Give him a little bit. And it's okay if they are not perfect trees, guys. It's all right. Trees are not perfect. They're nature, you know. You can go to a Christmas tree farm. Boy, you walk for hours to try to find that perfect one, and in reality, they're already all perfect, but we just think that they need to be a certain way. All right, let that sit. And then, oh gosh, I think we'll just take the same fan brush, pick up a little bit of yellow. I got some yellow ochre right here. I don't know. I hardly ever use that. See what happens. Throw a little white in there. Sparkle that up some. Alrighty. A little water. Need my paint a little bit thinner than what I'm painting on to get it to stick. And I'm just going to come in here and just going to create some little bushy shapes. And I'm just going to touch. Just touch. Oh, I think I need a little bit more yellow and a little bit more white. Forgive me. There we go. Let's try this again. I'm going to come up here and just create some fun little things here. Just tapping down. Keep it pretty simple. You can see there, giving a little bit more texture here. There we go. There we go. So I'm coming up this way, coming around the base of this. All right. That's probably all I'm going to do down there. I'm just going to grab a liner brush real quick. Just a good old liner brush. Dropping brushes. You probably heard that. Don't judge me. I'm going to just take and throw a little bit of water line down here underneath the land here. Just a little bit down here. I probably could have done this before this step. That's all right. A little bit down here. Just, water's lazy, so even if you're doing around the corner, you make sure your lines go straight. All righty. You can pull out a few little twigs and sticks here with this brush if you wanted to. And heck, let's just push it. We're pushing it now. I'm going to just take my little fan brush with some pure white paint. And we'll call this good when I'm done here. Just load my brush up, and I'm going to put a little bit of frosty stuff here on my little trees here. Just like this, just a few here and there. Depending on how much snow is there. I mean, you could lightly put some on the evergreens too. Touch those a little bit, even if you're down here. But anyway, there we go. We're right at 15 minutes. I'll let you guys see this here. So there's a 15-minute little Bob Ross kind of style painting. All right, hope you liked that. It was fun. And maybe we'll do some more of these. All right, appreciate you guys watching. Take care.